Welcome to episode of Grifters with Potion, presented by Frog Tony. In this episode, we're going to continue making fun of the grifters because that's what they deserve for just being the way they are. Now, it looks like GamerGate 3 is upon us. GamerGate 2 failed just the same way GamerGate 1 did. Infighting, people splinting off. According to the right-wing grifters, the other right-wing grifters are not right-wing enough. Supposedly, according to John Della Rose and YorchTorch Gaming, GamerGate 3 is upon us and they are taking the lead. So if you want to join them and be on the right side of gaming, they are your man. Apparently, it was Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 that started showing the cracks in this alliance. And the dam broke when Oblivion Remastered was launched because it ended up being a big success. And people like Grums, Smash JT, Hypnotic, they all fell in line and sided with the mainstream gamers. John Della Rose. GamerGate 2 failed because they called wokeness not woke if it was popular. It's time we start GamerGate 3 and make it explicitly right-wing because otherwise it will turn into shit. Are you in? I guess just having body types in games, body type 1, body type 2, is a no-no, is a non-binary. That alone is enough to say that the game is woke and not worth playing. That alone is enough to exclude people from the right. Exclude people from fighting this GamerGate 2 nonsense. Enough for it to splinter and cause GamerGate 3. YorchTorch Games. Gamers. GamerGate 1 was gamers versus feminists and ended with The Witcher 3. GG2 was libertarian in nature, sparked by the FBI controversy. It was fractured around KCD2 and ended with the Oblivion Remastered launch. GG3 is conservative in nature. And guess what? It'll never end. Now, if you follow John Della Rose and YorchTorch Gaming, I mean, they're pretty much out of their mind. Now, I understand like Smash JT, Andy Amon, Grums, and Hypnotic are kind of like them too on the same boat. But, I mean, yeah, they make shit up, but they're just not quite there yet, There's still kind of some resemblance of being normal-ish, I guess you can say. Not saying that everything out there is woke. Smash JT's kind of on the fence because his subscribers want him to be more like YorchTorch Gaming and John Della Rose, but he understands that the way he sees other people see him, he knows that people don't see him in a good light. So he tries to, do that whole balancing act where he just trying to call things out that are, I guess, what they would consider woke, but not really trying to fight it. But when it comes to the trans issue, he's straight up with them. So, it is what it is. You can't really distinguish between any of these YouTubers because they kind of all fall in the same category, regardless if they believe it and see it or not. But according to YorchTorch Gaming and John Della Rose, there's some people who are hardcore believers and some people who are just tourists. And apparently Smash JT, Grubs, and the rest of them, because they like modern games, people that don't, do no non-binary for stupid little things like body types, I guess it's over. But the thing is about these guys, they still comment and they still collaborate with Grums and stuff. So if you look at any of Grums' tweets, you'll see John Della Rose, first one there all the time. And we know we do it because they want to get that engagement, but still, if you're going to have morals or, say that other people aren't standing by their morals, then you should have something for yourself, which they obviously don't. So this whole GamerGate shit, it's just fun to look at, fun to laugh at, point and laugh at, because they really don't have no cohesion. They have no alliances. They just want clicks no matter what gets them those clicks. And they figure YorchTorch Gaming, John Della Rose, they can have their own little niche audience of the really right people. But it seems that since they have nobody else to fight against right now, they're fighting against each other again. And nothing new about that. Now, when you look at the coverage of Oblivion, which is freaking awesome, remastered, such a sweet game to play, especially after playing it before and then comparing it to it now, night and day. But we have the grifters, doing what they do because that's what they do. Yeah, Pirate Nation over here trying to shame or harass the developer for some reason. showing all the female ones. Like, sure, there's also male developers too, show them. But that's not his intent. His intent is to create rage. And when I look at these women, I don't see anything wrong with them. Okay, one has blue hair. Oh my god, blue hair, the world is gonna fall. But otherwise, I see accomplished female developers, especially when you play the game and see what they've done. They did an awesome job. But again, they do this to have subjects to harass. Speaking of harassment, Alyssa Mercante has amended her lawsuit against Smash JT like she said she would, and she added examples of how Smash JT has festered a community of harassers, especially how he has a Discord that is used to target Alyssa Mercante. Ironically, even though Smash JT says that Alyssa is the one that uses Discord to harass him. And as you can see from these court documents and tweets that are attached to it, yeah, Smash JT is responsible for harassing Alyssa Mercante. Point 139. Tarzia's fans openly discuss their plans to target and harass members of Mercante's family. Uncle Gus. We need to search the archives for the marriage certificate for Alyssa's failed marriage and find the dude. Point 140. Tarzia acknowledged that his target harassed Mercante is very profitable when one of his followers told him Mercante is like a content mine. Tomorrow, Mercante, tonight. She's like a gold mine. And of course, 100% in a smiley face. Point 138. Tarzia's fans and followers frequently discuss Mercante in the Smash JT Discord, including their plans to bully, harass, and sick the trolls on her. 3 Maro. Yes, bullying is good. We bully bad people. Jalen, like Alyssa Mercante. Sam and Demon. Does Alyssa have a Discord? We can sick the trolls on her. And even Smash JT, posting fake photos of Alyssa Mercante on Twitter. Doctored photos. Smash JT. The dude said he'll screenshot people to get them banished from the industry. But lets this fly? I don't know where the line even is. And as of course you can see that Alyssa Mercante is wearing a shirt that was doctored to make it look bad. And Smash JT tweeting it thinking that it's true. I didn't even take that image. I shared it from a Google search assuming it was a real pic because it matched her X banner. I'm not sure how this is even an own. Grinning squinty face. Speaking about Alyssa was what sparked his growth on YouTube, and he even acknowledged it more than once. And that's why he's not going to stop the harassment campaign. John Delarose. Congrats, JT. Great work fighting against the hacks at Kotaku. Hashtag and Kotaku. 8 years on YouTube, and the last couple of weeks have been ludicrous speed trip. Thank you all so much for the support. And of course, huge thanks to Alyssa Mercante. Couldn't have done it without you. Smiling kissy face. So, as you can see, Alyssa has demonstrated, or at least her lawyers have demonstrated, a consistent rate of harassment from Smash JT. Not only that, he also fosters this harassment campaign on Discord, even though he accuses Alyssa of doing the same thing that he's doing. But the thing that I find interesting, or kind of just stupid, is that Smash JT keeps on talking about Alyssa Mercante, keeps on talking about this lawsuit. Whenever you get sued, you shut the F up. You let your lawyers handle it. You don't go on YouTube, you don't go on Twitter, you don't go on Discord discussing it, making it worse, because that's what Smash JT is doing. But either he's too stupid or arrogant to realize that he's making his case worse. Now, I don't know what to tell you guys. They're always going to be constantly fighting each other because they always have to one-up each other, fighting for the same subs. I think it's all just rage click from each individual, but that's just me, from someone who doesn't rely on YouTube to make my money. And these guys do, so I understand their struggle. They got to keep on, feeding the beast to stay relevant. And that's why Smash JT and them are trying to get back into SBI stuff, because that was profitable. When they talk about regular games and stuff, people don't really care to listen because they can get that anywhere. But to get all the salacious lies and bullshit propaganda, that's where you go to. You go to the grifters. I understand. I don't take it personal. But it's just funny to see how they can't even get their whole act together, and they're all falling apart. GamerGate 3, oh, hilarious. Just like GamerGate 2 was. Now I'm going to leave it right there. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Remember, always be kind to yourself and enjoy your life. And I'll meet you right there. Peace.